Hi everyone, it's Pedro Baez from Go for Glory Stable. Today is October 27th, 2025. Just a reminder, I'm the managing partner and founder of Go for Glory, working alongside Charlie Longo, general manager. And yeah, this is the update for the past week. As usual, please like or subscribe if you like the videos. Just as another reminder, Go for Glory is a fractional ownership group where you can build a stable the way you like, mainly racing in the Northeast area, stable of racehorses. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, you can ask us, you can ask the owners. There's nothing like it. So, without further ado, just gonna jump right into it because um, we had a lot going on this past week. So, we had yesterday, not yesterday, Saturday, we had the Big Z event. So, Charlie sent, while I'm talking to you guys, I'm pulling up the email from Charlie that he sent out um, an email on that. And if you all have it, so you can all kind of go through into different emails, and it looks like Patty Harmon did a little decorating for the Big Z entrance. Unless that was Rob, but I don't know. Rob seems more like uh seems like a business, all business. But yeah, it was good times. Charlie gave Rob we presented him with an award from SOA of New York and from us for 4,000 training wins. He actually has more than 4,000. He actually has like more like 4,500 because Patty Harmon has 500 training wins when she was listed separately. So, but yeah, we had a pretty good turnout. Um, as you can see here, we had about like 20, 30 people come. Um, and it worked out well. It's a little cold, but it wasn't like unbearable or anything. And they had like little I don't want to say cold, say a little chilly. And yeah, we had good breakfast, bagels, donuts, those little campfire things that Patty and Rob set up everywhere. Little chairs with the hay bales over there around the campfire. Um, and then of course everyone had a jogging. So we got to jog all the horses that we owned, like Enola. Some One of the owners went with a training mile on Just Rose's luck. We had Invictus out there, Soho Skyfall out there, although he was kind of uh, jogging on his own. And yeah, it all went well. And I got to jog with my two daughters, with Rob and Cooper right there. And yeah, overall good times. We like to have these just so that everyone can kind of get a chance to see the horses, to meet other owners, to hang out at the barn, meet Rob, meet Patty, meet Scotty, meet all the other caretakers in the barn, see where the horses live, see the track they're training on, see the swimming pool. We didn't have pictures of that, but we watched My Hunter swim. Um, so yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was Saturday, and then usually um, it's just kind of like for me personally, I it's like a little vacation on my mind because I know for Rob and Patty and everyone and the caretakers, it's like a place of work. But me, obviously I don't work at the barn, so it's to me, I love it. So that's all that's done. That's in the books. I don't think we're gonna do any Big Z events in the winter. We'll see. We'll talk to Charlie. We're thinking about something with Paul in Saratoga before he leaves for Florida, meaning at some point next month in November or early December. So we'll see. Um, um, so at so we can see all his horses over there. The Lexington horses aren't there; they're down in Kentucky, but the other horses are up there. And so that's that as far as the in-person events. Um, uh, Lexington's in the books and done. Although we still have some shares available. Lebanon Louis 2%, Maz always right 5%. Um, excellent yearling prospects. And then we're starting to clarify the Harrisburg strategy. Harrisburg is in next week, so November 3rd, so a week from today. Harrisburg kicks off, and it's a full week. I think the last 2 days, the 30th and 31st, I believe, are the mix sale. I believe so. Um, and then the first 3 days of the yearling sales. So um, that's coming up on the horizon. So it's starting to kind of get a little bit more clear what we're going to do there. And it's looking like it's going to be most likely two yearlings, one from Paul Kelly, one from Rob Harmon. The Paul Kelly one is probably going to be Massachusetts eligible again. It might be a trotter, might be a pacer, but that's the plan. He's and it's kind of like his usual. You know, for anyone who's all of you guys have been doing owning with Paul Kelly all these years. He's more of like he looks for like those more expensive, those more higher end horses that have a little bit more pedigree, to have a little chance to truly go for glory, to go to be, you know, in theory, to give more chance to become like a Grand Circuit type. So his budget is probably going to be around 75,000 for a yearling at Harrisburg. So that tells me he's looking for one that has probably it could be a Chapter 7 sired uh, colt or filly. It could be it could be just a really nice back of the neck or something. But it's looking like it's going to be a New York or Pennsylvania sired horse with Massachusetts eligibility. So that's the plan with Paul. We're looking for one, and then that'll be it for him. And then Rob is specific, and he's looking for. He has a group of owners who invest in babies as well, and so we're just going to kind of join the party there. And they invest in. They're looking for a New York trotter. So a New York Colt or a Philly Trotter. The budget is for that one is up to 50,000, but that's kind of like the extreme. That's kind of like what they're saying. Oh, we're willing to go up to 50, but talking to Rob, I think it's going to be more like it might be more like you know around 20,000, 25, 30, something like that. Which is you can get a very good Skybox is 25,000 yearling. So you don't need to spend a lot to get a nice horse. So um, a nice horse like for sire stakes and Excelsior things like that. If you're trying to aim higher for the Grand Circuit, you sometimes you got to kind of like you guys kind of spend a little more for a little better quality, a little better sire, a better looking type horse, bigger horse, more powerful looking horse. So, but with all that being said, there's no science to it. You can't buy the game, so you cannot buy the game. Just all these owners, every now and then you see an owner come through, a very rich billionaire or millionaire, and they're buying up all these babies, and they still not getting to the Hambletonian and things like that because you can't buy the game. So um so that's the plan for Harrisburg. That's in a week from today. Um and so that's the plan. So it's gonna be two yearlings and it might be three. The only way I can see a third would be the only way I can see a third is like a pacer. If there's like, let's say we get two trotters and then there's like a pacer that we really like for some reason. Um, that's the only way I can see like a third, and then we do that. But I'm thinking it's probably going to be two, and two or three is plenty. I mean, we got six yearlings right now. Last year, Gulf Glory had four. The year before that had two, and I think two before that. So, that's kind of how it is. You just kind of keep building up your babies, and that's how we do it. We're building through the draft. So, that's the plan for next week. Um, uh, we might be looking at a. We're also looking at we got our Meadowlands, future Meadowlands racehorse with Invictus. So that's his plans, and he's looking pretty good so far. We're still we're still always looking for opportunities to buy horses. So like we're the goal is we want to get better horses in the barn. We don't want to. Is it fun? Is it kind of it's cheap to get a horse like Drill, Ship's Revenge, Artist Best. Um, Artist Best is different. He's more like a Meadowlands horse, but like Ship's Revenge, Drill, Blooper Time, he was more of a Meadowlands horse. But we're just trying to get. The goal is we want to get better quality. We want horses that are going to be racing for at least $10,000 every race, at least. Because if they're racing for less than that, then it kind of puts a lot of pressure on that horse to like really be like 1-2 every single time out. That's it's not easy. Anything could happen. Um, so that's kind of like the plan going forward. We did kind of like the cheaper ones um, earlier this year, um, just to kind of like an entry level type horse where it's cheap, allows people to kind of experience ownership for a very affordable price. $99 for Bluey, but not going to do too many of those going forward. We might do cheaper yearlings, that might be less than 20 grand or less than maybe less than 10 grams or something spectacular about it that we like, but probably not, probably more like 10 to 20 as far as the cheaper side. Um, but racehorses, yeah, we're probably gonna going forward. It'll probably be a little bit more of a more quality, you know, types, and that's better for everyone. So that's kind of the plan for racehorses, and we're actually, there might be a racehorse. I don't want to put the cat out of the bag. Might be a racehorse even this weekend that we're looking at. But anyway, so that's what's going on with the state with the stable and the barn overall. Um, Horses. We got some Massachusetts Sire Stakes is this Thursday, the uh 30 30th. So that's at Plain Ridge. So Geologic, Adios My Lindy, Money Man, they will all be in the final on Thursday. The draw is later today, 27th. And so we'll see how that goes. Um we still have horses racing, so we'll get through all those. And that's pretty much it for now that I can think of as far as like general updates. So now let's start with the horses. So Adios My Lindy. Adios My Lindy. Nothing really. Let's see. Nothing really. Actually, we not let me phrase it. I don't want to say nothing really, but she broke. So let's just go to her. Let's just go to her line. So she broke last week. Um, she broke. She broke last week on Monday, and it's there's nothing we can do. We'll just show it real quick, just because it was like really quick. When she broke, and we were to be honest, I think we were due for this. By the way, she gets all these five posts. I don't know what that's about, but to me, she was due. I was hoping for a third place check in here, and I think she still could have gotten third place. But that's her right there, Bruce Ranger with the five horse, and he's off the gate. And there we go. She broke. I didn't even, looking at this again, that she actually broke like 6 feet from the gate. Now that we're actually looking at it, looks like he was trying to speed up to catch up to the gate. I guess, but yeah, look, she's a fast horse. She's not mature enough yet in the head, and that's normal. We see it. We've seen it all the time, especially with if you anyone who's done the yearlings, you've seen it all the time, especially with the trotters. That's why when you see a horse like Geologic and it's like he acts like an 8-year-old war horse, you're like, you kind of wish everyone's like that. But yeah, Adios My Lindy, she's just not there yet. She's her, and that's very common with Walners. Walner, number one, I believe the number one trotting styling in the game, and he's like a $50,000 stud fee. But Walner produces horses that are hot. Sometimes that are hot-headed. He's known for that. Huntsville on the pacing side, he's known for that. So, um, the Adios is like that. That's how she is. Money Man wasn't like that. So we kind of got lucky with him. He's a Walner, but Adios, she wants to go 110%, and she just we saw her last couple of races. She's been kind of steady, and he's been keeping her together, and she finally broke. So let's just hope, let's just hope she stays trotting in the final. I'd be happy with just a piece of that. Her 2-year-old filly division is unbelievably brutal. So, but you got to race, so you don't know what can happen. What if by some miracle all those monsters like break? And then it's just adios, like Geologic did last week. So you just gotta trot, and let's hope for the best next week. I would be thrilled with any sort of check in that race, just because of how good those top 4 or 5 fillies are. Um, Definitely top three to four fillies are incredible. Probably five. So it's a really deep field, but anything can happen, and that's why we do the trotters. So that's Adios My Lindy. She is waiting for the draw for Thursday, and and um and hopefully we get a decent post, and she just needs to trot. So we'll see how that goes. Artist Best, he didn't race this week. He was he had a lot of mucus. He was sick. He was getting a lot of medication. We saw him Saturday. He looked okay, although I just still see a little mucus coming out his nose. But and Rob said he's still not. I asked Rob. We were talking to Rob this morning, Charlie and I, about where to race him, and Rob said he's still quite not. he's still quite not over it yet, so we're gonna kind of wait a little bit. Definitely not gonna race him on Friday. Maybe we'll see how things look today, and then may drop in the box for Saturday at Meadowlands. But that's the plan with Artist Bass. He's gonna be at Meadowlands, and he might be like probably in the amateurs for a little bit, just because that helps to one. It's sometimes a lot of times it's a lot easier. Not easier, but it is. Um, Not a lot easier, but a little bit easier than some of these races that he has to go in right now. And then with Charlie driving, or with some, if we get a really good amateur driver, that any of you who bet the amateur races, those amateur drivers make a big difference to the quality and the ability of them. It's kind of shocking actually. And then you see like the best amateur drivers went with like these long shots all the time because they're just better drivers. So um, that's the plan with him. And once he's healthy, we'll get rolling again. So that's Artist Best. Charming Princess. The plan is for her to be in the sale on in Harrisburg in the mix sale, so she's in there, and just kind of waiting for that to happen. Um, and I think last week I went through her like her pedigree and stuff, and she looks good. So we'll just see what we can get. We paid 30 for her, so obviously we're hoping we can get somewhere between at least 30, 30, 35 would be great to at least get our money back in that regard. That's the beauty of trotting fillies. But we'll see. You never know. We gotta kind of wait and see how it goes. So that's her plan, and she'll be in Harrisburg sale next week, later next week, mix sale. Anola. Anola's doing fine. She was in the barn yesterday, on Saturday. I keep saying yesterday. She was in the barn on Saturday. Looked great. She was jogging. People were actually jogging her too. And she's just, right now, she's just got to get back in race shape. She's been eating grass and laying around for the last month plus. So she just got to get back in race shape. So she just got right now she's just jogging, getting miles in her. Then then Rob will start increasing her training miles and this and that, and then she'll be ready to go. So my take is probably most likely she'll qualify at some point in December. Um, Maybe late November, but I'm thinking more likely December, and then she'll be rolling all weekend, all winter. And the plan is that she'll be fresh for the winter. Well, all the other horses are getting tired or getting shut down. The plan is Anola comes in and it's like, hey, I'm ready to roll. I just got a nice rest. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes, but that's her story. So Anola, she's doing well and she's just training back and she's doing great. Um, Geologic, Geologic, let's get to his race. His uh his Secretariat race that he pulled off. He's the four horse here. The monster is the one horse, Mother's Money. That's the horse who's been eating his lunch pretty much every time we face him. Um, and this track was actually an off track. It's hard to really tell right here, but it was actually like an off track, and it might have even been raining right now. You see right there? Let's look at that right there. When you get off the gate, that's Geologic, the four horse. We got Yannick Gingras, Hall of Famer, and he looks great. That too is annoying me, but right here, ooh, ooh, ooh. You see, I don't know if you all saw that, but he almost broke. He almost broke right there. And then that two breaks, and it's like that changes the whole race right there. That when that two breaks, because then Geologic can just sit right behind the favorite and basically be on cruise control the whole way. But that's why you know, just like we talked about with the amateur drivers and the ability, just like with the pro drivers. I mean, you get a guy like Yannick. This isn't his first 2-year-old trotter he's ever driven. This is what he does. He drives them all the time. So he knew and he felt it. He's like, oh, whoa, this horse might be getting ready to run, and he pulled him back, held him together, and there he is. So as we suspected before we got to this race, this was going to be we said this was going to be a two-horse race, and clearly it is. And these horses are all breaking like crazy. I mean, this is like a break fest, and you see this sometimes with 2-year-old trotters. And this is why we like trotters and trotting babies, because if you get a horse like these two who trot, or like Geologic specifically, who trots, no matter what, just by trotting you can make money. Just by staying trotting, you can make money. And that only happens with 2-year-old trotters. If you do the pacers, they almost never break. So I mean, but anyways, let's watch this race. I think we're getting to the climax here. So right here, Geologic's following him, and right here it looks like Geologic's actually going to make a little move. But then there we go, there we go. And in the back of my mind when we were here, I was praying that that would happen because I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen so often. Um, right here, it's like, Geologic's like Secretary. The closest horse is 22 lengths behind him. This isn't even. This is like. This was a magical. This was a magical race. This is what it's all about. This is why we buy racehorses right here. Unbelievable. Unbelievable what happened. This is incredible. $75,000 race. $75,000 race won by 22 lengths because every single horse breaking. So, congrats to everyone who's been on Geologic. Like we always keep talking about him. He was an $82,000 yearling, and it's for good reason. He was a Captain Corey, which no one still knew anything about Captain Corey yet when we bought him. He was unproven, but he had a Chapter 7 dam. And that's why we like Chapter 7 dams. Solar Queen, 7 Seagrams, both Chapter 7. We got a lot. We always looking for those Chapter 7 dams, and he I mean, this was a great win. This is an amazing win. So congrats to everyone. This is why we do it. This is why you have to keep continuing to build through the draft, as I call it, build through drafting through these young horses. That's how you get a chance for Geologic. So his draw is later today for the final on Thursday. Let's hope for the best. Um, Going to Vegas, similar to Charming Princess. She's in the Harrisburg sale for mixed sale for later next week. We'll see what we can get. I'm hoping we can get somewhere between 75 to 100,000, um, or more. But you don't know. You don't really know how it's going to go. So that's my hope. We'll see. Maybe it's less, but um, that's the beauty of the trotting fillies. Her sister, her tactical landing sister as a yearling sold for $200,000. Mind you, her siblings have not sold for anything. They sold for like 50 grand, 37,000, like 40 grand. They didn't sell for anything, her siblings. All of a sudden now her sister, her tactical landing sister, sells for 200,000, four times, three, five times what they've been selling. I think a lot of that has to do with the broodmare value. So we'll see how it goes, but that's why we do it. So that's going to Vegas. She's in the sale next week, Harrisburg mixed sale. Invictus, Invictus made his debut yesterday. It's probably a good reason why, probably a good, it's probably a good call why I did the video today, so we can get Invictus in here actually. Because if we did it early yesterday, I wouldn't have gotten Invictus his replay. So he is making his debut for us at Saratoga. He's the 5 horse, Saratoga Harness Hall of Fame. Jerry Randall driving, and that's him right here, the 5 horse in the middle. And Jay asked him to go a little bit. He's asking him to go, but as you can see, that 2 was firing off, that 1 was firing off. You know, so and we know that Invictus doesn't have the crazy gate speed. We know that. We knew that buying him. He's like he's kind of like Just Rose's Luck. Trying to think who else. Just Rose's Luck, Moneyman, Skybox, um I'm losing my train of thought of other horses, but where they have like solid gate speed that they can defend their post position. Um and but he doesn't really have blazing gate speed to like just shoot out the gate like a bat out of hell. So he doesn't have that, which is fine. As long as he has the inside post, he can defend his position. So there he is, 5 hole, 28 and 2 first quarter. Right here, you know, I get it. We were the second favorite. Jay Randall said he felt good, so he made that move from 6, 7 lengths back to go first over. This was brutal, especially the first race. Um, his first race in the month. And right there, you see right there, his head's. Let's just do that again. His so here he is. He's making that big brush up the up the stretch. And you see right here, his head's kind of turned to the right. That's called running in. So he's running in. He's running towards the inside of the track. So Jay Randall's kind of pulling his right line to kind of keep him from going, inside the wheel of the 3 horse. So that's why he lost all that. That's why he was kind of like just sitting there in quicksand. It's not that he couldn't keep up. He was just Jay was pulling his head to the right to keep him from going inside. So it's just a rigging adjustments. But there he is. He's asking him to go now on the straightaway, and he's going. So there he is. He's going. Um, he's kind of right here. It's kind of like kind of hard to tell what's going to happen. Um, but but right here, this part is key. That three's not bad, but look, he puts that three away right away. That he was trotting, he was pacing through the finish line. So he had a ton of pace. Really good third place for our first start, um, especially with that trip. And that's why we got him. We knew he was a good horse. We paid 100. He made 109,000 before we got him. We got him for $20,000, which we felt was excellent price for him. And he that's why we got him. He's a very nice pacer, and he's only 3 years old. He's lightly raced. He's a Huntsville, and he gets around the half. Yeah, he doesn't have the blazing gate speed, around the half like some of these other horses have. Um, Trying to think like Soho, Skyfall, and Enola. They have more like above average gate speed where they can kind of like really get out of there pretty hard. Um, but that's fine. That's fine. As long as he could defend his position, that's fine. So he'll do fine. He's back in to go on Sunday actually with he got the rail. He got the rail on Sunday. Um, and we'll see how it goes. So he I'm actually very, very happy with that horse. Rob said he was good. James Randall said he was really good. Jay liked him a lot. They just got to work on, like I said, you saw when he was kind of running in that third turn. They just got to work on the. Rob said he was good. Just got to work on the equipment, the rigging. Basically, he might need you know, like a bigger head pole on the inside or things like that. He might just need some equipment changes just so that he can be a little straighter around that turn, so he's not kind of like running in like that. Um, but that happens. That happens sometimes with horses. It's very normal, especially on a half-mile track. It's very normal. But yeah, he's doing great. So that's Invictus. I'm very happy to have him. Very happy for the debut, and he'll keep rolling. Just Rose's luck. She raced. She did she race? She raced this week. She came in second, and she was excellent as usual. She's like very consistent. This horse. Look at this. This is this is disgusting. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Well, we got a bunch of ones here before, but then we got sevens over there. This is crazy. But anyways, let's. Some people are like, "Oh, well, seven poles. You're a better horse. You should just win the race." And I'm like, on a half-mile track. Even the best horses are like um handicapped, and there she is, she's getting out there and yeah, I thought he was going to actually drop in. I thought Jay was actually going to drop in right there, like sitting third or fourth, and then he kept going to the lead, even from the seventh pole, even from the seventh post. And I don't blame him. I think she was 2-1, and um I always prefer putting the horse in play, but that was a lot. You know, she's still going out there. She's in the 2-3 path for the entire first quarter and really gunning it. And I think 27-1. So, 27-1 from the seven post is probably more like 26 and change because she had to go way more ground, cover way more ground than these other horses had to do. So that took a lot out of her. But there she is in the front. The two tried to retake, but she didn't let the two retake. And this is usually just Rose's luck patented move, but she's just she's like a front runner. That's what she likes to do. She likes to get to the lead, and then she likes to try to wire the field. We saw that at Plain Ridge. We saw it at Tioga. Well, Tioga, she actually came off the pace and beat a horse by a nose. That was amazing. But but yeah, this is her. This is the way she rolls. And right here, 57. That two kind of going backwards a little bit. I actually thought we had that four though was scaring me. You see, that four though, you can kind of tell that four had horse. That two was going back. That four, though, you can kind of tell had some horse. And I was hoping they kind of like blocked her in, but no. She gets out. She gets out. And that you can argue that four had a perfect trip. She was on the rail the entire race. She gets out at the three-quarter pole and just blasts towards us. And we've been doing so much work this race that we couldn't hold her off. But we still held off the other horses, so that's the most important thing. And that four was actually the morning line favorite. So she was 6-1, but she was a big overline. She was actually the morning line favorite. So, um, good race, very good race for Rosa. we had her in the low level race because she just been getting screwed so much with the seven posts. But she's back in Tuesday, tomorrow with a two post, same level. So let's hopefully, hopefully, I'm hoping she can just do the same thing we just saw and just wire the field and but not have to like do so much work in the beginning to do it. So that's the plan. I think yeah, I think she should win tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. That's just Rose's luck. Let me just see real quick. Let me just because we had Invictus and just Victus. I don't have his program up yet. Just Rose's luck. Yeah, I mean the one's okay, but the one's okay. We just gotta see. The one doesn't really have any gate speed, so I think Jay Randall might be able to bully himself in front of that one. So, but outside of that, there's really not a lot of like speed in this race. So, I think I think I gotta think Jay Randall's gonna try to bully that one and get to the front and then just try to wire this race. So, but that one's not bad. All right, so next horse is Loving on Louis. He's doing well. He's in Lexington. Nothing to note on him. He's a really nice chapter. Crazy Wow Colt. And he's his brother, his half brother, Balenciaga's racing today, or I'm not sure if racing today, but he's racing. He's doing great. I think he is racing today. Now I'm thinking about it. So you can keep an eye on his half brother. He's doing awesome. Um, he doing awesome as in lately he had a rough year, but he's finally come around lately. He's finally getting into form and doing a lot better. So good to hear with Balenciaga, his half brother, and loving on Louis. He's training right now and jogging and not training, but he's jogging and everything in Kentucky. Ma's always right. She's really nice. International money, Massachusetts bred filly trotter, really nice one. So same thing. Her and loving on Louis. There are some shares available still, and she's for good reason. She was 75,000 for good reason. Her family's awesome, up and down. So you get what you pay for. So just like Geologic was 82,000. He's Chapter 7 dam, 100% producing dam, I believe, when we got him. Um, so she's also in Lexington training, jogging. My Hunter, my Hunter, he is my Hunter is he is his tomorrow Wednesday the 29th at 8 a.m. He has an appointment with Patty Hogan, veterinarian Patty Hogan. She's like legendary. She's like one of the top vets, equine vets in in the world, or at least in the U.S. And so based in New Jersey. So we're gonna go there at 8 a.m. on Wednesday just to get him checked out, just to see if she sees anything. Um, out of the ordinary, or any recommends any sort of treatment for him and things like that. So, just to kind of give him a full look through, independent, second set of eyes. You know, he got burned with another lame scratch, yet he's fine. Everyone saw him yesterday or I keep saying yesterday, Saturday at Big Z, and he was swimming. He's doing great. He's doing his work. He's the same horse we've had since the beginning. Powerful horse, very powerful horse, and he showed us the power he has. He's just kind of quirky. He's a quirky horse, but we're gonna get him checked out Wednesday just to kind of eliminate any sort of. Um, we just want to make sure we just kind of know what's going on if in case there is something. So um, that's the plan. Wednesday, we'll keep you all posted on my hunter. But yeah, he needs to qualify anyway after this. So he's on the 14-day vet list after that. So the earliest he can qualify is sometime next week. So that's the plan. Um, and we'll see how that goes. Money Man, um, Money Man is he raced last week on Tuesday, and he raced really well. He was a three horse here in a $75,000 division of Massachusetts, and Takedo Lindy was the one horse, and that's a really good horse, Takedo Lindy. So that's actually I think I said it a million times. That's Adios, my Lindy's older brother, full older brother, the one horse here. And Money Man, yeah, he's got a little. He doesn't have like crazy gate speed, but he has enough to get to the front. So there he is. He's jumping out to the front. Um, that's like Invictus. Like to me, that's like Invictus. He has enough to get to the front, but Like if you put money man on a half, I don't think he's not flying out like that. So that was a big break right there. You see that four in the back? That's my degenerate. That horse was 2-5 favorite, so we kind of got geologic lucky with that one, with that horse breaking. Big time lucky with that horse breaking. The one, there he is getting to the front. Takeo Lindy. That five is Castell Lindy. That's the one who came up last race from Moneyman and stole second from us. But there's no issue with stealing second from us. That Castell Lindy was one of the best. He was one of the best Massachusetts bred um, last year. So why wouldn't he be good this year? And he was good this year too. So he's just kind of sneaking up on everyone right now, which is fine, you know. But there's Takeo Lindy on the lead. He's been racing hard this year. He's been racing really hard this year. And he did the whole Kentucky circuit down at Red Mile and Cumberland and all that stuff. And then he's coming here from Massachusetts, so he's got a lot of miles on him. On the flip side, he didn't race as a 2-year-old. He never raced as a 2-year-old. So that just goes to show, don't get too sad if your yearling doesn't make it as a 2-year-old. Look at Takeda Lundy. He didn't make it. So I think he's on pace to make well over $200,000 this year as a 3-year-old alone. He's gonna make over 200,000. So there's Money Man making his move. And Yannick was playing that game. I don't know if you saw everyone. Yannick was playing a game. Yeah, right here. You see, let's go back a little bit. Money Man's kind of catching up and he's getting some momentum. So Brett Beckwith is like, Yannick is going half in, half out right now. So you can't see it from here, but he's half in, half out. So Brett's like, all right, I'm gonna go on the inside, and then Yannick goes back on the inside. Then Brett's like, all right, I'm gonna go on the outside. Then Yannick goes on the outside. You see now Yannick goes on the outside, and he makes us go three wide. That's a very common strategy that the drivers use, especially the top drivers do it because it's not illegal. Somehow it's not illegal. And there's Money Man making his move, and he was gaining on them, but that's why Yannick is Yannick. You want him driving your horses. And Brett Beckwith, there's nothing he can do, like, because it's a legal move. It's not like I don't want to say legal, but it never gets flagged or anything. That half in, half out stuff. Meadowlands has some rules against it. They don't like that. Like they actually tell the drivers you can't do that, half in, half out. But tracks like this, they're not telling you can't do that. So Yannick he was going inside, saying you can't go on the inside, and then go on the outside. You can't go on the inside. He's just playing those games, and then that's how he got second. So, but Money Man was great. Was very good, very solid. Shows up every time. We'll see how he is. We'll see what post we get in the final on Thursday. On tap Lindy, same as Maz always right, and Loving on Louis. On tap Lindy is an international money colt, 40 grand for him. Can't tab Hall, uh, Mother, first foal, looks amazing. Very happy we got him, and he's down in Lexington getting his work. Saddle up, saddle up. He got claimed, and yeah, we just watch the replay real quick. He actually got claimed from us. Um, there's only a single claim. It's like you got to be kidding me. We thought we might be able to get more races out of him, but Yonkers is that's how it is. Yonkers is just a lot of owners who operate over there for good reason. I mean, look at this. This race is going for $18,000. So that's us with three hole with Jason Bartlett, leading driver in the world, leading driver at Yonkers. And right here, his nose is on the gate, and we're getting off. And to me, part of me is just like, keep going, Jason. Just keep going. Just keep make a little fight out of it. Get into him. Get in front of this two at least. Get into him. And he kind of stops, and I get it. That one, he was really fighting the battle there, and he was 3-5 shots, so it's not. You don't see a five. You don't see a horse trying to get in front of a 3-5 shot a lot, but it does happen. So when we were sitting in this three hole, me personally, in my mind, I kind of knew we were done. I just, you got to be near the front. So there's no passing lane at Yonkers. On the inside, there's no lightning rail anymore. Back in the day, not even back in the day. It wasn't that long ago. It was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago when you had the lightning lane. Yeah, you could sit third because the two will shoot the rail, and then you can maybe shoot further on the inside on the rail, or follow the two, or this and that. You got a little that three hole is not horrendous. Now that three hole is horrendous. That three hole is just as bad as sitting fourth, or even fourth is probably better. So, There he is. They're saddled up. It's just everybody's in straight line order. This is why some people like they complain a lot. They're in post position order. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. You know, so um, everybody's just following the one, and there's really not much to note here. So there's Jason. He's kind of getting after him a little bit, and mind you, saddle up. He had that crazy race last week where Colin Kelly drove him to the ground. So there he is, though. He's on the rail. He's coming on, and that one packs it in. That one packed it in real bad. That one packed it in awful. And here we closed okay, but bam, that killed me. Getting beat by that six at the wire killed me. I was hoping we can get third at least, but we got fourth, which wasn't terrible, but it is what it is. He got claimed, and it's just the end of the story with Saddle Up. We tried him in the 40s, and he actually did fit well. He was low odds at a couple of those races. It's just two out of three of those races were horrendous trips, horrendous drives, and then one race he was just too far back, and then we couldn't do much. So we put him back in the 30s, and then we get okay drive. Wasn't bad, wasn't terrible. Jason said he was a good horse. He was solid as usual, but you know um, that's racing. So we're now moved on from Saddle Up, and we wish him the best. And he's a classy war horse, and he's I'm sure he'll do fine for his next owners. So all right, next up is Seeing Lindy. She's the Massachusetts International Money filly. We got her for 22,000 a bargain. First fall from a Muscle Hill mare. She's also in Lexington, doing great. Um, so she's nothing really to note with her. Seven Seagrams. She is doing very well. We saw her at Big Z. She was jogging with Solar Queen, and they both are like professionals. So Ships Seven Seagrams was great. She's doing well. Um, Liking her job, doing her work. So nothing really to note on that her end, except for keep an eye on Corner Store. Her sister draws today for Thursday. Um, and that's a big race. So all the seven Seagram owners, you should probably be tuned in for Corner Store on Thursday because that will impact you directly. Uh, how she does, because that's the broodmare value impact, and it's very real. So, some people, they're like, oh, it's not really. It's real. It's very real, especially with the trotting fillies. So keep an eye on Corner Store on Thursday. Ships Revenge. Ships Revenge. We had we it was we were all the Ships Revenge owners were bummed out with this race. So she was at Monticello. She had the sixth post, and you know, and part of me was hoping we would kind of blast off, but she has okay gate speed. It's kind of like and she's a little bit less gate speed than Invictus, but she didn't get off the page. She didn't get off the gate, and I thought we could have, but it wasn't meant to be. But then right here, you see this two. That two broke. That was awful. Let's do that again. This two. Keep an eye on this two right here. This two, and then that five right behind it. So the two right here breaks. The five swerves out the way and swerves right into us. I mean, I almost wonder. I don't like. Part of me wonders if the five needed to go that far wide. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I could see why. But he did swerve pretty hard, and then he got us. So there was nothing we can do after that. I mean, she did. She cut her leg. Actually, you could probably see her. You probably can probably see when she did. She cut her leg. Um, she didn't really do anything the rest of this race. She did catch up, but that's her in the back right here. She did catch up to the field, but she spotted them like so many lengths after that collision in the beginning that it was impossible to catch up. She was like 20, 30 lengths behind them when she caught up. Um, and she's a trooper because she actually has a cut on her leg, um, on her front leg. Uh, um, she actually has a cut right behind her left knee, and um, it's actually during the race day. It was actually bleeding pretty good. So like they weren't, they kind of had to get that thing treated right away. It was bleeding pretty good, but they got the vet looking at it. The vet said no stitches, so that's huge. Because remember, just Rose's luck, she had like 9 stitches. She had like a huge gash on her knee, on her leg. She had like 9 stitches and was out for like a month. But yeah, Ship's Revenge. She just needed just to wrap it up, and she jogged Saturday, and she's doing fine. And we'll see if she's good enough by Wednesday to drop her in the box for next week at Monticello. Um, Hopefully she is. We had to skip a week we definitely had to skip a week after that race just to make sure give it some time to heal. But it looks like we dodged a bullet, thankfully. It looks like it was just superficial. And Yeah, that's just racing. That was scary. It could have been a lot worse. So it could have been definitely could have been a lot worse. But she's okay. She'll be in the box. Hopefully she's in the box Wednesday for next week. And yeah, hopefully we get draw better than 6. If we can get in the inside in that race, we should be okay in there. I mean, that race went like 58-3. They're not that good, those horses. So let's move on to the next horse, Skybox. He he raced. He didn't. Oh, we covered him the week before. He's in to go today in literally 40 minutes, and I think he's. Yeah, I don't even know why to look at the program for Skybox because we know kind of everyone who's in on Skybox kind of knows what's going on, but it's kind of like what we usually say. If he is the same Skybox that we all know, Brett should have him on the lead or first over, and he should be, top 3 in here. He can definitely win this race. That 5 isn't bad. That 5 is actually pretty good, not bad. But he legitimately, if he's the same horse, he should win. He can win this race. So that's what we're gonna watch for. Let's hope he's kind of back in his groove, and yeah, we'll see what happens. He's just been this year just he's been a model of consistency as a 2 and 3 year old, and then 4 year old. He just had like everything you can imagine starts happening. So it's just racing, and let's just hope he's kind of like on the up and up now. Like we kind of hit the bottom, and let's hope we're kind of going up now. So that's Skybox. Soho Skyfall, same as Enola. He's back in the barn, jogging, been eating grass for a month and a half, or not a month and a half, month plus. And yeah, he just needs to get back in race shape. So he's just doing fine. He's jogging. He should be back hopefully by late November or at some point in December. And then yeah, for winter racing, he deserves it. He got us like 6 or 7 wins this year. He was killing it in Saratoga, and he's got power. He had one race in Yonkers, and he went like 53-2 with a big mile. So he's a nice horse. So we'll kind of see how want to keep those kind of horses, keep them fresh. They deserve their breaks. You know, we want those type of horses in the barn. So that's Soho Skyfall. Solar Queen, just like I mentioned with Seven Seagram, she jogged on Saturday. She's doing great, doing her job. Nice Mets Hall, Philly, Chapter 7 Dam. Um, First fall from Chapter 7 Dam, and just kind of see how it goes. So she's so far so good. She's doing her job. And second chapter, he is turned out at Paul's house right now. Paul lives in like not in Saratoga, but near Saratoga, and he has like a big paddock and behind his house. And he's doing well. He just needs time to develop. But look at Takeo Lindy, like we saw. Yes, do you want even Balenciaga? He didn't race as a 2 year old. Yeah, do you want your horses to race as a 2 year old? Yes, everyone does. But sometimes they need more time. It's like I'm trying to think of like a late blooming baseball player. I'm trying to think of a late blooming famous baseball player. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but sometimes there are, athletes that, in the beginning as a rookie or whatever, or in their first year, second year, they're not quite clicking. Then they kind of clicks later on, kind of clicks later on, the light bulb goes off. So that's kind of the story with him. We're just hoping he gets a little older and then clicks. So anyway, that's that second chapter. So this is the update for the past week. Hope you all enjoyed it. Take care and have a good rest of your week. Thank you.